listeners, Alex Wellings here yet again. I got a very special guest with us, actually joining us virtually from Des Moines, Iowa, or just outside of Des Moines. Mr. Cam McCarty, back on the show. Cam, thanks for being here. We're going to be talking about taxes and how you've incorporated that. It's that time of year. First, recap your 2020 for us. We were just kind of going through your numbers and talking a little bit about that. How'd your year shake out, and what are you taking into this new year?
Yeah, actually, it turned out better than what I thought it would be. We were still short from our goal. We had a goal of 30 million of new AUM assets. We were 10 million short of that.
Right.
But then again, we had to stop our seminars.
Right.
But regardless, we had a great life year, unbelievable life production. Annuities as well was okay. But again, despite everything going on for 2020, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, man. So 20 million under management. You were the number one life producer at Megastar, number two at Brokers International, and 5 million in the annuity business, or just over. I think you said just over 3 actually million in annuities. That's a great year, and certainly better than most out there. And you did a lot of pivoting, and obviously you've committed to the virtual model. You got a great setup here. I'm impressed, very much impressed. Going to steal some ideas from you on that front, but. One of the things I really wanted to talk with you about today was your tax implication. You incorporate taxes into your sales process. You doing prep services. It is obviously a huge part of like your retirement planning concepts. Maybe talk to us a little bit about what made you want to jump into the tax world, why you think it's so important, and then maybe at the end we can talk through your sales process and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So. Okay, going back when I first started in the business, I wasn't in the tax field at all.
Right.
And all I did was just annuities. That was it. But here's the thing, I was missing something big, and I was missing those big clients.
Sure.
And so it's like, man, how do I break into that? How do I bust into those high net worth clients? And that is the ticket. And so for your producers that are listening, I'm 36 years old. We're kicking butt right now. And if they could break into the tax model, now I'm not talking tax preparation, none of that stuff. I'm talking about incorporating tax planning within your sales process. Because here's the thing, if you're not talking about taxes, you're missing the boat.
Yeah.
You will hit a ceiling, just like I did year after year after year. But then once you start bringing in Roth conversions, talk about tax saving strategies, net unrealized appreciation. Stuff that your producers know. Yeah. Why don't you talk about this all the time and use taxes as the core model of your overall business?
Yeah, I see a lot of, particularly some of our younger producers that are doing extraordinarily well. Yourself, Ryan Palomini's been on the show recently, talking about the power. What's taken him over the ledge too has been that tax conversation. What is it about the taxes that you think the prospect kind of turns over the leaf and starts thinking of you a little differently? What is it that is it because nobody else is talking to them about their taxes when they're doing replanning for them, or what is it particularly that the tax conversation seems to kind of tip them over the tipping point?
It's kind of mind-blowing because you think that these producers and there's a lot of other great, advisors out there, but they just focus on one thing. They've just got this focus on just investments. Well, the way we talk to people is look at your overall retirement as a pieces of the puzzle. You have your investments. It's a big piece, but it's just a piece. Your taxes. Has your advisor looked at this? I got to give Brian Benham some kudos here. So hopefully he watches this once you go live. Yeah. He came in a while back and he did one of our federal programs, and he actually always said this line. And I shouldn't be saying this. I don't know why I'm giving away this stuff, Alex. I don't know why I do this. But anyways, he said, folks, before you invested your money, when was the last time that your financial advisor took a look at your federal benefits? Or when was the last time that they looked at your Social Security? Better yet, how about your taxes? Oh, wait a minute. They wouldn't know what your tax situation is going to look like because they didn't look at those other pieces of your puzzle.
That's right.
Doesn't it make sense to surround yourself with a professional that does all of that instead of just one thing?
Yeah. And
that's so simple, but yet very powerful.
It is. It is. Brian, again, he was just on the show yesterday. We did a recording with him. He was talking about how he's kind of shifting gears to the tax conversation. And that is something that he's going on the road saying to federal employees for a long, long time. Your guy, what does your guy say about this on your Fed benefits? Or what does your guy say about that? I mean, it is absolutely a way for him to drive that wedge, Paul. I mean, he talked about that. You're talking about that. That's that's obviously a conversation our advisors need to be, having with their clients. It seems to be what good producers say to kind of drive a wedge without criticizing or being mean or throwing people under a bus. It's just a easy way to, put that wedge in there. When did you start into the tax business? How long ago was this?
It would be now 3.5 years ago now.
Okay. And so one of the big questions that we have from people out in the field is they think it's going to be a headache to get involved in it. There's a lot of learning to do, or I don't want to learn about taxes. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. I don't want to get in trouble with a regulator of some sort. What experience did you have on that front? Was it overwhelming? Was it easy to do? Maybe explain a little bit of that to us.
Right. I mean, you mentioned a good point. You have to be, with compliance, you have to be ethical and also be able to have the licenses to give tax advice, first off.
Sure.
If you don't have the licenses, then you through Megastar has plenty of connections of other tax advisors that you can connect yourself with.
Absolutely.
Again, what I tell people is I'm not everything to everybody. I can't be. So that's why I surround myself with a team. Mm-hmm. So one thing that we're currently looking for is another CPA to add to our office, not for tax preparation, but for my tax planning. Because again, there's only one of me and we've got all these clients. And so I got to be able to branch that stuff off. And so again, surround yourself with professionals that that has a like-minded view of what you want to accomplish within your practice. But again, talk to Megastar, because that's what we've done when we first started. I aligned myself with tax advisors. I told them what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then we worked out an arrangement and then we started to branch off from there. So again, you can start, just you got to reach out to your upline.
So I appreciate the plug there. Absolutely. It's something we've been pitching for a long time. So if you are watching this and you want some tax advice or are looking for like what's the first, second, third steps in getting a practice going or starting down that planning mindset from a tax perspective, we can certainly help you internally here. Now, when you started doing it, like how do you market your tax practice? Are you or the tax planning services? Is it just incorporated to all the things? I know when you do like a Social Security workshop, there's a tax element to it. When you do a federal workshop, there's a tax element to it. Is it just that? Is that the only thing that you're doing to promote the tax planning services, or is it just everything that you're doing is kind of has some sort of tax implication?
Yeah. Everything that we do is look at my name, right? What's our name? Our name is Vivid Tax Advisory. I'm not a tax preparation. I'm a tax advisory firm. So we focus on taxes because no matter what investments you pick, when you take Social Security, when you take your pension, when you take a withdrawal from an IRA, this is common sense stuff. it all flows around taxes. So I've rebranded myself completely 3.5 years ago. And it's been wonderful.
Right.
And again, we are getting those high net worth clients now because that's what they want. What they don't want to do is jump from one office to another. So for example, they don't want to go to their tax office, pay their fee, then leave. Then they don't want to go to their financial advisor's office, whatever their setup is, and then they leave, and then they don't want to go to their attorney. Wouldn't it be nice just to have those people under one roof?
Yeah, and communicating. It's like sometimes you could go to your tax planner and get a plan in place, go to your financial planner. Financial planner has some different idea. Now you got to go back to your tax planner, see if that's going to work. Then you go to your estate planning attorney and set it all up into the trust. It could be a nightmare, absolutely, and I see why you're doing that. Let's shift gears a little bit. What about 2021? So for those of our advisors or those advisors either looking to get into the tax world this year, are going to start planning and using that in their practice, or for those advisors out there that currently have tax prep services or planning services offered at their firms, what is it What is 2021 going to look like landscape wise? Is there anything particular you're looking out for this year that might be different than other years? Is there, or is it just going to be kind of like a normal year? I know there's a lot of quirky things that happened in 2020 from a tax perspective.
Okay, so you're asking about taxes moving forward for this year?
Yeah, is there anything going to change in the planning landscape?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it'll be business as usual for us. We'll still do we do tax landscapes for people to show them where they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The CARES initiative that was passed, I mean, there's a lot of different things there that we're looking at, especially with paying taxes over 3 years, right? That's kind of a neat feature.
Yep.
We do a lot of Roth conversions. We may be doing some early conversions this year. We do anticipate the market to be a little dicey for the first quarter, but then we're anticipating some, 6 to 9 months of decent market this year.
Sure.
And so it's still the same. One thing that we're also gearing up on is our seminars that we call them classes because we don't do dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's going to be business. The way I'm looking at 2021, Alex, is I'm picking up slack from last year.
Sure.
That's really because, again, from March to whenever, I didn't do a seminar. Right. I couldn't do one. Right. And so we're finally getting back into the groove again. We started in August of 2020 and we're about to be in full swing again.
Maybe you could explain a little bit what the hardest part of starting down, like the learning curve of learning taxes it was for you, because you're a guy again that was doing well, selling a lot of annuities prior to, but was hitting that kind of that threshold, and you were having trouble breaking through that glass ceiling, and now you've skyrocketed past once you tackled that tax learning curve. What was the hardest part, or was it all pretty easy? Again, that's something that we hear all the time from our advisors, is that there just seems to be this maybe, apprehension about wanting to jump into that. It just seems so nuanced and overwhelming. How was that learning curve for you in your experience?
I think the first thing was finding the right fit of the person you want to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I would talk to Megastar, talk to you.
Yeah.
And again, you've got plenty of contacts. I mean, all it is networking.
Sure.
I mean, and finding the right fit, somebody that you can, have a good chemistry with.
Right.
Again, they don't have to be in office. One tax advisor that we use, we do webinars with her and clients.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's just finding that right person. And so, no, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just more finding that right fit.
Yeah. Then
what we did was because again, you're starting to have this person give tax advice, right? I mean, as part of your firm. So your numbers have got to be right on.
Okay.
So for people that are going to get into this field and they're going to start looking at Roth conversion, you can't be guessing on a conversion.
Right.
You've got to the money. So again, find that right fit for a person that fits your firm.
So you've almost got the tax planning person coming in to give the advice. So you're not responsible to have all the answers for that tax or for the appointment, or they're not just loading your lips. They're going to literally be in there with you so that you don't put a foot in your mouth or anything like that.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, also maybe look at, if you're just a financial shop, yep, I would encourage your people to also open up a tax business.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, rename it. I mean, we've got our financial shop and our tax shop. Now, again, from a regulation standpoint and from a compliance standpoint, that's a big deal, especially if you have your securities license. So sure, you want to do it right.
Yep.
And again, you don't want to be giving tax advice when you aren't properly licensed. So I want to be very clear there.
Absolutely.
Again, align yourself with somebody who is licensed, that you have that chemistry with, that believes in what you're trying to do. Not just for the sake of sales, but also saving people money in taxes.
Well, Cam, it's certainly an interesting time. I appreciate you coming in and kind of shedding some wisdom on some of that stuff. What about 2021? What are the goals? What are you looking to do? What's the ceiling for you this year? What are you looking at?
Well, to be honest, I had my goal set last year at 30 million, but we're toning it back down. We're going to do our goal is to do 25 million this year in AUM.
Okay.
Just because I'm kicking up programs again, And so we're going to do, I like to do 25 million. That would hit another milestone with AUM.
Yep.
With our IULs, our life, I would like to pick that up again.
Mm-hmm.
That's been wonderful. And then also, the big thing with me, Alex, as you know, is I'm very big into the advisory business, and so I like to really build this empire. But again, before we go here, I want to thank you in Megastar for what you've done for us, because again, if I'm not seeing somebody, I'm not doing this stuff. And so you guys have provided all of that. So thank you for what you've done, especially different, betas that you guys have run. I mean, we appreciate being involved in that stuff. I mean, your producers should be very thankful because, everybody's got a program. Question is how do you get in front of people?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a team effort, man, and you're part of that team. And so all of the feedback you give us back in those beta programs has certainly paid dividends for tons of advisors out in the field. So we appreciate your feedback on those things, letting us know how the quality of the prospect turns out and everything. And we'll continue to build and hopefully help you accomplish those goals this year. And for anybody else out there watching the show, if you want any more information about how to start into the tax planning or tax prep side of this business, we are here to help you. As Cam had mentioned a few times during the show, we've got all the resources here internally to help you on that front. Cam, any parting wisdoms for anybody starting down the road into the tax world?
Do it.
Or yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
If you want to grow your business, you got to get in the tax side. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll still do fine. I mean, you're still going to be successful. But if you want to get to that next level.
Yeah. High net worth clients, it seems to be the absolute center point or center focus of who they choose to put their business with, are those people that are proficient in the tax world or can help them get a better understanding on how to keep the majority of their money, right? It's not always what you make, it's always what you can keep from that pot of money, right? So anyway, Cam, thanks so much for taking some time today and being on the show. Everybody out there, we'll see you next time right here on Coffee for Closers.